Hello, my Bill 1000 Nation. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, everyone's having a great day. If not, I hope it gets better from here. We are back with another That Chapter. This one is titled Words. Shit. Hold on. YouTuber laughs on vlog after committing horrific crime. Alright. That sounds traumatizing. And slightly terrifying. I'm excited to get in today's video, though. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am, and if you are, please go ahead, turn them lights down low, put on something comfy, cuddle up with something special. Let's get traumatized. I've already said it. That's what we're going with. Yeah, traumatized.
It's hard, and to think that I'm not gonna see her grow up, like how I thought that I was gonna see her grow up, like.
What?
But it's okay. I know everybody wants to know what happened to her, like the cause of her death, and I will talk to you guys about it. I will, but when I'm ready. What is, it is what it is. So.
It is what it is. What the fuck did you do?
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this little video, folks, we are going to look at 3 YouTube channels that on the surface seem like regular old, YouTube stuff, sure you know yourself. But then you read a little bit more about the people behind the channels, and oh boy. One, a vlogger saying, if you weren't there, you don't know. But, I mean, the thing is, though, that there was, it was something pretty horrifying. So, 2 was a man who couldn't sleep, just couldn't get them Z's in. And 3 is a YouTube chef who would end up using his knives for something very different than, chefing. You'll see by the way that this video was filmed before I moved back into, my comfy black void, so that's why this one looks a little bit different. But before we get into this one, please subscribe to see new videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go.
Oh, the comfy black void. Darkest YouTube channels. Oh, Lord. Nick Crawley flashbacks, bruh. Traumatization. Begin.
I suppose we may as well, folks. Start with the darkest YouTube channel, though this video may not lead you to that assumption.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, or if it's your first time watching my videos, hi. I know I say look, I know I say, or I use it. Oh, that scared me.
What a sweet, happy woman. Big old shit-eating grin on her face.
Right.
I say, hey guys, I use that word guys a lot. But I don't just mean guys, I mean everybody. First things first, the giveaway. So for the giveaway, I told you guys to message me on Instagram with your Zelle or Cash App. And guess who did it? Drum roll. Nobody did it. Nobody hit me up. Nobody messaged me their Cash App, their Zelle.
Okay, so far so innocent. Pretty young woman talking about using guys are like the general neutral term, which I think most people do. A giveaway no one tried out for.
Yeah.
Womp. Sort of charming. No way she's insane. Right?
Nah, she got crazy
seem
eyes,
eager
bro.
to get your personal info, though, which is usually a red flag. Though why she would actually want
You
your
see it in
personal
the eyes,
info,
man.
I'm pretty sure you'd be able to figure out by the time I'm done talking about her. Which isn't even the darkest thing about her, if you can believe that.
Maybe next time on my next giveaway, people do message me, right?
So who this, why, and what be this video show? Well, this is Claudia Alicia Hernandez Santos, and her channel is called Alicia Santos. She was 25 years of age, of San Jose, California, and she just made vlogs for the girlies, you guys. She talked about,
Okay.
this and that, and guess what? She was for real. For realsies.
The main thing that I want is, I want it to be real.
I genuinely want to motivate others and teach what I know. Darkest YouTube channel's my ass, I hear you say, big dog. Well, buckle up. Her first video was uploaded January 6th, 2022. And you guys know I say somebody has Manson lamps? Well, she has Manson face.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. You guys know my videos are fresh from my head. Okay, I'm gonna speak my mind as it is. I don't write nothing down. But lately, and today is weird because today I had been having a headache. I think it's because I think too much. I be thinking too much. But lately,
Do you know?
and then my mind goes blank. I forget what I'm about to say.
You might think too much, but I think you be thinking the wrong things, bruh. Is you thinking the wrong things? You look like you thinking the wrong things. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust her. Like, she got some crazy eyes, bro. You can see the glimpse of it every once in a while when she looks at the camera.
I think it's because the past couple of weeks I've been thinking too much. I have been thinking too much. But it's nothing bad, you know, it's nothing bad. You guys see how the sun is hitting me today? I love it. I love how my face looks.
Okay, so hey folks, if you think that's 30 seconds you will never get back after just listening to her kind of whatever shit she was talking about, well, think of me who had to watch all of her videos, all 4 of them, and they're painful. But the last one is the one with the most views, for good reason. It's titled Hourly Naomi Proctor Hernandez. Who dat? I hear you barking, big dog. Well, that was Claudia's 3-year-old daughter. She tragically passed away 4 months previous, but this video was released January 27th, 2022, and her daughter passed away the previous September.
On today's video, as you guys saw the title, I'm gonna be talking about my daughter. Okay, I'm not gonna be talking about how she passed away, but I'm gonna be talking about who she was, like since before I got pregnant, when I got pregnant, you know, everything. Because I want to talk about that. I want you guys to know who she was, because if she was alive, I would definitely have her in my videos, you know. And yeah, I just want you guys to know, you know, who she was. But
so this video was in essence dedicated to the tragic passing. She gives a story of, you know, how she met her daughter's father, you know, finding out she was pregnant, and the joy of giving birth to a baby girl. And then she kind of continues on and on. Then, of course, her daughter's passing. Extremely tragic, something no parent should have to go through.
It's like, look, when she learned how to smile, she was like, my baby was such a happy baby. You guys don't understand, like, oh, my baby.
This is so cute.
Oh, I miss her. I'm gonna cry. It's crazy, you know, because when she passed away, she was with me. You know, of course, I'm her mom. Why would she not be with me? You know, but
what she neglects to mention, though, in this video are the exact circumstances of her daughter's death. Yeah, if you thought there was something oddly creepy in her eyes, bingo, buddy.
Told you. Crazy eyes,
this
man.
This case goes all the way back to a
there,
church
done
in
that,
San
seen
Jose,
that shit.
Iglesia Apostoles y Profetas Church. Wow, my Spanish incredible. Well, it's not really a church. It's actually run out of a house in San Jose. So it's like, I don't know. Is that so good as a church? Let's move on. Now, this church, bit of a history, because like around the same time as the story I
mean, supposedly anywhere, you know, you can pray to God and be heard is a church, right? Like, ain't that like one of the things in the Bible? I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Telling you, true members were arrested for kidnapping a child. And in this church, well, they, interestingly enough, they heavily believed in exorcisms, as did Claudia Hernandez Santos. And for whatever reason, Claudia had come to believe that her daughter, Arlie, had become possessed by demons.
I don't know. People move how they want to move, you know, and people can think what they want to think, you know. And if you know what happened to my daughter.
This bitch watched a little too much La Llorona. Watched the Conjuring movies a little too much. What the fuck, man? I'm not saying possession ain't real, but... Oh god, I have a feeling I'm going to be angry as fuck by the end of this video. Woohoo.
Then you know. But if you don't know, then you don't know, you know? And the thing is, like, if
I don't know.
you weren't there when she passed away, then whatever you want to believe or whatever you want to think that happened is not valid because you were not there. It's not the reality of how things happen, you know? Like, I was there. I know what happened to her, you know? And one thing I'm not going to do is lie about how she
According to court documents, on September 23rd, 2021, Claudia, then 25, and 3-year-old Arlie were in their home, and Arlie was up screaming and crying all night for whatever reason. That's what I say. According to Claudia, the reason she was up all night screaming and crying was because she was possessed by demons. She claimed, quote, Arlie looked different. Her eyes were different. They looked empty. It wasn't her. What I believe is she was possessed, 'cause I go to church. End quote. That is what she believed, so Claudia then shoved her fingers down her daughter's throat to try and make her puke up the demon, I guess. Arlie then started biting her because she didn't, as you can imagine, she didn't like that. So then Claudia and her brother Aaron, they took Arlie, 3-year-old girl who was extremely upset. I mean, her mom was trying to shove her fingers down her throat to the church, where the pastor, the preacher of this church was waiting for him. His name was Rene, and guess what? Rene just happened to be Claudia's father. The three of them then, over the course of like the next 20 hours, basically tortured Arlie. She was beaten, strangled, stretched, and held in the air for hours. The three of them constantly praying around her in a circle while torturing her to try and, in their own minds, exorcise the demon. The only thing they would end up exorcising was Arlie's life, which is what makes those videos that Claudia...
Religion in the wrong hands can be dangerous. What the fuck? So because you had your hands down your daughter's throat, which you probably got some like long ass nails and shit, most younger ladies do. Not saying all of them, but most of them do. Because she didn't want your fucking janky ass fingers down her fucking throat, and she bit you. You thought she was possessed. No, she was just a child not wanting your fucking fingers down her fucking throat. Oh, I hope someone beats the living fuck out of you while you're in prison, and your brother and your stupid greasy ass daddy.
would later make. Absolutely insane.
It's many reasons why God took her. That's something that gets to me because it's like,
oh, God took her because he was like, damn, this baby don't need to be around so much stupid.
The situation looks. But if you weren't there, then you don't know. And that's why what people say, or if you've heard something about what happened to my daughter, if it doesn't come from me, then it's not valid because you were not there. You were not there. And
it was then shortly after 8 p.m. on September 24th, 2021 that Claudia called the police, reporting that Arlie had passed away. The police arrived, they found Arlie unconscious on the floor, but soon after she was tragically pronounced dead.
Yeah, she... It's... ¿Qué les estaba diciendo? Yeah, so...
An autopsy determined that she had died from asphyxiation and smothering, along with brain swelling, blood in the lungs, neck wounds, and mouth wounds. When Claudia was asked, hey, are you responsible for all of these wounds that ended up killing your 3-year-old daughter? Claudia said, in a way. Ultimately, this was torturing her. They tortured her to death before she passed away at 6 p.m., Claudia then calling the police 2 hours later. Claudia, she would later say she spoke to God daily, every day, having a chinwag with him, and that God had told her he was going to take away her daughter. He told her, giving her advance notice of this. So then, when she died, Claudia was like, well, shit happens. And that kind of explains her demeanor in this video when she's talking about it 5 months later, and it's just like, welp.
Like I said, my baby was such a happy baby, and I don't know, I could sit here and be negative about the thing, I wish I could go back, and this and that, but it's like, there is no point of me doing that, because I cannot change what is, it is what it is. So I've learned to think positive, it is what it is, and it's like, what's the point, I'm just gonna be putting myself down. At the end, it's gonna be okay. You will be able to smile again. There's gonna be lights at the end of the tunnel. Okay, guys.
That's not light. That's flames from hell, bitch. That's where you going. You killed a baby. Have a nice time spending eternity getting in the boom with a pitchfork, bitch. Man, fuck that. I don't give a fuck, man. I get so tired of people using religion as a weapon. It's not a weapon. It's something to get you through this shitty ass world. It's something to give you belief in a better tomorrow, a better place than what you're at. You used it as a weapon to kill your child. You're trash. Just because a child's acting up does not mean it's motherfucking possessed.
I was gonna say something else, but se me olvidó. I honestly forgot, but but yeah, I let me see. Is there anything else? No, that's it.
I hope not.
Okay.
It wasn't until January 31st, 2022 that Claudia Hernadez was booked into the Santa Clara County Jail. That's 4 days after she made this video. She was charged with 1 felony count of assault on a child with force likely to produce great bodily injury, resulting in death. Claudia's brother, Aaron, and father, Renee, have also both been charged with the same.
This one is very difficult to stomach. The victim in this case was particularly vulnerable. She was a 3-year-old girl, and these were people that she trusts. It was her mother, her
People
uncle,
that were
and
supposed
her
to love her.
grandfather.
Extremely tragic. This went from 0 to 50 really, really fast. The night before, Claudia, Arlie, her brother Aaron, and Arlie's father, they all went out for dinner together, and it was fine. Totally normal. Then they get home, and Arlie just starts crying, is upset about something. Who knows what. But Claudia, possession, and then 20 hours of torture non-stop, and then the 3-year-old girl was killed. And the thing is, like, I had this, you're probably thinking, right? Claudia, head case. Was she on drugs? Mentally ill? 0, well, okay, I'm not going to say 0, but no history of either. Though if there is mental illness, it's clearly in the family. No trial date has been set, so who knows when that will be. But ultimately, it's a tragic case of a young child being taken away way too soon in a bizarre and tragic way. Oh, and she likely wanted your personal information to send you weird shit. That energy. Yikes. Next story I have for you, next channel, it's again a tragic one. It's a very tragic one, but in a very different way, and probably very terrifying. Nightmarish, because this entire story unfolds sort of like through no fault of anyone's. Born in Indonesia, there was a tattoo artist named Ricard Siagian. He was from the town of Belij, North Sumatra in Indonesia, a picturesque tourist spot along the banks of Lake Toba. However, he later moved to Philadelphia, USA, and there he worked as a tattoo artist, graphic designer, and photographer. Alright, so far so good. Pretty sweet life. What am I about to say next? Me? See, things for Ricard would take a terrifying turn over the summer of 2015. See, Ricard began to notice that he was having trouble sleeping. You know, he just wasn't happening. And you know, we all get, I'm sure you guys do too, I sure as well do, Jesus, I sure do, you know, get insomnia from time to time. Right? Usually for maybe a couple of days and then it will go away.
Advertisement?
But the problem was with Ricard, it simply wasn't going away. The insomnia was staying.
I thought he was going to do like, and speaking of no sleep, today's sponsor is the one place with the powders. You guys know what the one I'm talking about. He does it a lot. Helps him sleep. Blah, blah, blah. That'd been a perfect segue.
He couldn't sleep, like, at all. Now, at first, he simply thought insomnia was a side effect of the anti...
And yes, I'm sorry if I still sound a little congested. I'm feeling better. The headache is gone. Throat feels slightly better, but I'm still a little... You know what I mean? We're getting there, though.
Antibiotics he had been given. See, over the summer of 2015, in Philly, at his job, he developed a quite a severe UTI, and it was causing him a lot of pain in his stomach and his lower back. So his boss, or somebody, we don't exactly know who, gave him some antibiotics to try and clear it up. It ended up doing a hell of a lot more than that. See, for whatever reason, and I'm no doc, the antibiotics he was on, they began to attack his central nervous system. It seems like the antibiotics Ricard was taking had like neurotoxic effects on him. Who knows these things, but...
That's why you should go to your own doctor, get your own medicine.
Insomnia.
That's why you should never take medicine from other people, because what works for them does not always work for you. Like, only antibiotics I can take are Z-Packs. I don't know why. I don't care why, but anytime I take anything other than a Z-Pack, I get deathly sick, like bad, like hospitalized. So, like, even whenever I go to get my teeth cleaned and stuff like that, I have got to go and get a Z-Pack, take it, and then go do it. got heart problems. It's been like that ever since I was little. But there's a lot of antibiotics I physically cannot take. It will potentially kill me. So, take your own medicine, peoples. Be safe. Be
but the
smart.
insomnia wouldn't go away. As I said, what exactly caused this? All this trouble for Ricard, we're still not sure to this day. It's still somewhat unknown, but antibiotics can cause a lot of issues. You know, they can affect everybody differently, and some in severely negative ways, rather than just cleaning up whatever bacterial infection you have. But see, there is a disease called fatal familial insomnia, which is hereditary, and it's...
Yes, it can
well,
kill
it's
you.
exactly what it sounds like. Due to a prion, which is a type of protein acting up in the brain, calm down, prions, you basically lose, your body and your brain loses the ability to sleep, to fall asleep.
It can kill you.
It starts out simply like that. You can't sleep. Day after day after day, you are unable to sleep. Your mental health, therefore, as you can imagine, deteriorates. Anxiety, depression, paranoia, panic attacks become regular. This lasts about 4 months. Then the hallucinations, which began as movement, black dots, shapes in the corner of your eyes, become in your face. You lose weight rapidly. This all takes place over the course of a few months before you reach the final stage, dementia.
By now his condition had deteriorated dramatically.
How long you been here? Yeah.
You become mute, unresponsive, and then you die. And there is zero cure for this. That is what Ricard Siagian was going through, and he was documenting it all on his YouTube channel.
Hi, I'm making this video.
Maybe you shouldn't left paradise, man.
There's some people out there are able to help me either by sharing this and information and treatment and stuff for my condition, health condition. I want to explain everything actually, but I'm worried, you know, there's not that much time to explain, but it could take hours and hours since the history of my health problem until today. So let's go straight that I have not sleep, means I have total insomnia, sleep disability. Right now it's already 4 months, and this is not sleeping difficulties. This is not regular insomnia. So it's been 4 months, and my body is deteriorating right now because my immune system is falling from not able to sleep. You know, and it seems like more health problem arise now.
I mean, could they potentially like put you in like a medically induced coma for a little bit? See if that helped. Is that a thing? Can they do that? Would that help? Would it help? Would it make things worse? Are you technically sleeping when you're in a coma? I'm just saying, like, if it's the body needing rest, like, is there not a way to like maybe physically do that? At least like temporarily put him in a coma long enough to where his body can heal a little bit? Would that work? I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I would like to know.
And I'm not able to sleep any longer. Not even a little click of trying to sleep.
Sleeping gas don't work?
My condition is getting worse now. I mean,
Ricard would say he had no history of fatal familial insomnia. He simply had an inverse reaction to the antibiotics which he had been given. And you can see his mental state deteriorate over time. He becomes paranoid. He has mental breakdowns. Now, by the time he posted his first video about his condition, he had already had insomnia for like 5 months. He developed it in August 2015. He posted his first video about his condition in January 2016. And he must be in what I can only imagine is like indescribable pain. At this point, he was back in Indonesia. Though he had a son and a life in the USA, the disease had left him bedridden, as he had traveled back to Indonesia to visit his mom who was dying, and essentially he was unable to travel back to his home in America. He seemed desperate for help, for anything, and you know what seemed just like torture? Well, that's what he documented. He would film himself trying to fall asleep, and you can see exactly what he was going through. He lies in bed, closes his eyes, trying and praying for sleep. This would be what happened. His body shocks him awake, preventing him from sleeping. Something messed up is going on in his brain. He describes it in the video description. This video, showing one of my various kind of neurological feedback surge as a sleeping refusal or rejection right a second before my body about to drift, followed and accompanied by long hours of deep neurotic spinal tortures, brain heat with random thought, vivid dreams, and unbearable painful body tension for hours and every whole days. And he documented this happening to him a few times. Over time, he slowly began to go insane, babbling about God and conspiracies and whatnot.
So here I want to try to explain about the meaning of what's so-called God, and also probably explain also in the same time about angels.
Okay.
Conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory is never been a theory. It's a practice.
Ricard Siagian passed away in December 2016 from insomnia, fatal case of insomnia, and documenting the entire ordeal. Now, we don't know exactly what happened to Ricard, and there's very little documentation on this story. Like, did he just simply go insane over time? Was he actually an insomniac? Because like I described earlier on, usually in cases of fatal insomnia, you go basically, the final stage is like dementia. And he was recording videos, still babbling, but recording videos right until he passed away. Others think that, the condition he got was because the antibiotics he was given, which weren't prescribed to him, they were just given to him by a coworker or his boss. Something those antibiotics could have been like out of date, and that's what caused.
Or he should just take something that was prescribed to him, not someone else.
Regardless, whatever it was, whatever adverse reaction he had to the antibiotics, it's terrifying. It's an absolutely terrifying condition. So this one definitely isn't the norm of the types of stories I cover, as, well, it's not exactly true crime, it's just dark as shit. And honestly, when I came across it, I found it horrifying. Because, although it's not crime, it is something just so simple. So, well, it disturbed me so much I kinda had to share it with you. Sweet dreams.
Wow.
Muy buenas disfrutones, bienvenidos un día más a mi canal. Vamos a hacer un plato que me encanta, comfort food. Lo vamos a cocinar todo aquí, bueno, menos el pollo que va a pasar por la brasa en un momento. Vamos a usar el camado y tal, pero...
Wow, what a great cooking channel. If only I understood Spanish, I'd be cooking myself. And on the YouTube channel Puro Disfrute, pure enjoyment. I mean, that's what it means. In reality, you're watching a murderer make and enjoy butter chicken. Look at you. The videos are all pretty professionally shot and look great, so, who is this chump and what did he do? This is 30-year-old Daniel Sancho Bronchalo of Spain and a member of a very famous Spanish family. His padre is Rodolfo Sancho, a very well-known Spanish actor who I never heard of, but apparently he's very well known if you're Spanish, which I'm not, but maybe you are. And his mother was also very famous, very, very famous family. And so you kind of are looking at this guy cooking away and you're like, well, he's just the son of some famous people who's making YouTube videos for fun. Maybe he wants to be a celebrity chef, perchance. You'd be right on that account, but that's not what he became famous for.
Muy buenas disfrutones, ¿cómo estáis? ¿Con ganas de cocinar?
So Daniel wanted to be famous just like his daddy-o and his maddie-o, and food would be his route to stardom. He began his culinary career going back to the mighty year of 2022, making burgers which quite frankly look like someone took a shit between two slices of bread and said, Bon appetit.
Din, 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 din.
It was in Thailand that the shit hit the frying pan in Daniel's case. He was there in Koh Phanang, which is, I'm butchering all the names in this, I'm sorry folks. It's a beautiful tropical paradise, right? It's an island in Thailand. It's famous for its full moon parties. People go crazy there, having a great old time. That's where Daniel, stopped being a celebrity chef. He became a celebrity something else. Now the island, known for its partying, I mean, well duh, It was the morning after the night before that the cleanup was going on, and I'm sure there's lots of shite to clean up around the island. And it was during the cleanup, on Koh Phangan that, trash collector, picking up bags of garbage, in landfills, doing this and that. He noticed that one bag, kind of smelly, sort of squishy, sort of soft.
God.
He opens it up. Oh, it's a person. Yep, they found human body parts in bags on this tropical island paradise, chopped up. In fact, 14 bags of human would be found. I hope Daniel didn't use the same knives. The remains would later be identified as one Edwin Arrieta Arteaga of Colombia. He was a very successful plastic surgeon, and via his Instagram with his little videos showing Ogo to Wawawiwa, that is where Edwin connected with Daniel Sancho years and years ago. They both hit it off, and Edwin was like 2 decades older than Daniel, but you know what? When you know, and you especially know when you're getting tens and tens of thousands of dollars. That'll make you know for sure. That'll clear that right up for you. Edwin would send Daniel money all the time as they began a sort of romantic relationship, the two of them. See, Edwin was eventually going to move to Spain, though at this point their relationship remained a secret. And so it was in August
Making
of
some good-looking food,
2023
though.
that Edwin and our celebrity chef Daniel, they decided on a romantic getaway to this island in Thailand. It won't be romantic. And so Edwin arrived to this island to meet up with his kind of boyfriend, lover, whatever you want to call it. Edwin touches down in Thailand, flying there from Colombia, and then, oh no! Pretty much as soon as he sets foot there, no one can reach Edwin. Nobody heard from him. He just went off the map. His sister was trying to DM him, message him, call him, reach out to people. Nothing. Edwin vanished. Then, a couple of days later, a trash collector finds bags. Bags, folks, filled with body parts. Police eventually identified the remains as Edwin. They then, went to Daniel, where he had been staying. Edwin had been staying with Daniel. They went to their rented accommodation. And, Thai police investigating the place found more Edwin in the drains of this home. Daniel had killed him and chopped him up. Now, Daniel's story, when he would be, arrested, confronted with all of this, what did you do to your lover, guy you had been DMing with, who had been sending you money? Well, Daniel would say that Edwin, when he arrived, they met up, he would be sexually aggressive. Coming on a little bit strong. Daniel was not too keen on that. So they began, there was a struggle. There's always one of those mysterious struggles in these stories. There had been a struggle. Edwin fell, cracks the back of his head off the bath. Daniel thinks, oh no, he's dead. Well, better finish his job. Stabs him, chops him up. Didn't know what else to do. Dumps him in the landfill. He actually previously had tried to put him in bags and then rent a kayak so he could, paddle out to the sea and dump him out there, but they wouldn't let him. He was too late in the day, so he had to use landfill, I guess. Daniel would say this was no romantic or sexual relationship at all between him and Edwin. Daniel actually had a girl, if you can believe that Edwin had blackmailed him into some kind of relationships, this going on vacation, meeting up, and Daniel said he was gonna, meet him there in Thailand and end it all for good. Say, listen, I'm not having any of this anymore. His story, seriously folks, his story makes no sense whatsoever. But regardless of whether there actually was something sexual or romantic going on here, Daniel would still say that Edwin attacked him in a sexual manner and that he, self-defense, Edwin just ended up dead. He just died and then he chopped him up. That's what Daniel's story was, self-defense. While the police, though, the Thai police, they did find, though, that Daniel had purchased bleach and cleaning supplies before Edwin arrived in Thailand for their little romantic getaway, so kind of seemed like he was pre-planning it. He was convicted, and he almost got the death penalty, but instead, now Daniel will have to spend the rest of his life, he got life in prison in Thailand. And if I know anything about Thailand, you do not want to spend any time in the prisons there. And Daniel will be spending quite a lot of time in the prisons there. As Daniel himself would say, it's no bueno.
It happens, man. Don't kill people.
Thank you so much for watching, folks. I hope you found these YouTube channels each equally...
Oh, I most definitely found them each equally fucked. The one lady killing her baby because she thought it was possessed, that one's a little bit more fucked than the rest of them. in my book. I'm just saying, like, kids are kids. They're crazy. They're wild. They're rambunctious. They're little assholes. Straight up little assholes. But have you met the parents? It's like my kids, man. They're crazy as shit. They're fucking outlandish as fuck. They go hard. And it's like, you can be mad at them, but I see me in them a lot. It's like, poor kids. They're gonna have a hard life. Oh, Lord. All right. I really did enjoy today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I did. If you did, please go down there, leave a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow. While you're down there, if you want, go and overslap that subscribe button, become part of the B5 Nation. We do some crazy stuff here. If you want to know when that crazy stuff happens, ding that bell and turn on all notifications. Ooh. That poor girl. As always, be good to one another. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Damn, Mike. Those were good, though, bud. Like, I had a good time.